There are a lot of great distilleries out there that people just don't know about. And it's not because the quality of the whiskey, it's because the size of their operation. These facilities are flying under the radar. Let's change that. Hey everybody, it's Mark the East Coast Whiskey Sipper coming to you again today from in front of my whiskey cabinet. This episode of Flying Under the Radar will focus on Cox Creek Distilling out of Cox Creek, Kentucky. Cox Creek Distilling began in 2020 as a passion project among bourbon-loving friends who are part of a bourbon club. Their primary focus is on sourcing high-quality aged bourbons and ryes from other distilleries such as MGP and Barton, then finishing them in various specialty barrels. They wanted to give everyday whiskey fans the access to the kind of hands-on barrel selection and finishing usually reserved for insiders. Starting with just 4 barrels under the Good Times bourbon label, they focused on custom finishes and creative freedom rather than mass production. The distillery built its reputation on customer-driven barrel picks from liquor stores and bourbon clubs, offering a wide range of finishing casks and encouraging bold experimental combinations, plus custom labels for each release. That approach fueled rapid growth, expanding distribution to more than 25 states. Today, Cox Creek operates as a full-scale distillery centered on choice and personalization. For just $150, visitors can taste and bottle their own custom-finished bourbons from 6 different finishes and from a selection of over 40 barrels, each with its own distinct character, creating a one-of-a-kind bottle on site. The finishing process uses only barrel influence. There are no added flavors, and many ideas come directly from customer requests. Focused on community, quality, and creativity rather than hype, Cox Creek offers free tastings and tours, supports nonprofits, and continues to grow while keeping customers at the center of the whiskey-making experience. Cox Creek Distilling offers several distinct whiskey brands, each with a different focus. The first is Good Times Bourbon. This flagship brand is known for its bold, unique finishes in casks like Mexican vanilla, cherry brandy, blueberry brandy, and toasted oak, creating diverse flavor profiles. The next is Good Old Times. Good Old Times uses the same finishing playbook as Good Times, but with whiskey aged 7 years or more for added depth and complexity. The next brand is Old Rick Barrel Company. Old Rick Barrel Company caters to traditionalists by offering unfinished, high-proof, and often hazmat-level bourbons and whiskeys, emphasizing the raw spirit without added finishes. The next brand is Old Zach. Old Zach features uncut, unfiltered, barrel-strength Kentucky bourbon with expressions up to 16 years old that are highly regarded for their rich, powerful character. The last brand is Bridle and Bit. Bridle and Bit focuses on Indiana wheated bourbon with a high wheat mash bill, offering a smooth profile that can also be subjected to unique double oak finishing processes. So Cox Creek sent me samples from 3 of their product lines. I'm going to be reviewing Old Zach, Good Old Times finished in Mexican vanilla and rare bourbon casks, and the Old Rick Barrel Company uncut bourbon whiskey. All right, let's get into Old Zach. It has an undisclosed mash bill and an age statement of 8 years. It comes in at 118 proof. MSRP is $125. Okay, let's get on to the nose. All right, I get caramel, molasses, and dark fruits, like plums and cherries. I also get baking spices and heavy oak. All right, onto the palate. Oh, nice creamy mouthfeel. I get brown sugar, toasted marshmallows. I get the dark fruits, the cherries, and the plums. I also get a charred oak flavor as well. All right, one last time in for the finish. Ooh. A long, bold finish with a bit of that Kentucky hug. Very nice. I get spice, chocolate, Even a little bit of coffee. Very solid pour, very delicious. Okay. Let's get into the good old times. It has a mash bill of 51% corn, 45% wheat, and 4% malted barley. It has an age statement of 9 years, and it comes in at 116 proof. MSRP on this one is $125 as well. Okay, let's get on to the nose. I get vanilla, brown sugar, baking spice. I also get a bit of fig and tobacco. Okay, onto the palate. I get vanilla custard, sweet cream, maybe even a little bit of sugar cookie. I also get baking spice and oak. Okay, one final time in for the finish. A long, smooth finish. I get vanilla frosting, caramel, and oak all through the finish, from start to finish. All right, let's get into our last bottle, the Old Rick Barrel Company Uncut Bourbon Whiskey. It has a mash bill of 60% corn, 36% rye, and 4% malted barley. It has an age statement of 11 years and comes in at 128 proof. MSRP is $150. Okay, let's get on to the nose. Not a complicated nose. I get vanilla, caramel, and some charred oak. Okay, onto the palate. Oh, it has a very oily mouthfeel. It's very full-bodied. I get dark brown sugar, toffee. I also get baking spice and some charred oak. Wow, very good whiskey. Okay, one nice time in for the finish. Here we go. It's a long but quite dry finish. I get the sweetness on the front of the palate, and oak, and a little bit of spice towards the back of the palate. Wow, those were 3 fantastic pours. This is the whole reason I'm doing this Flying Under the Radar series. There are a lot of great whiskeys out there that people just don't know enough about. Hopefully this series will open up some people's eyes. Well, that's it. Stay tuned for the next installment of Flying Under the Radar. If you like this videos, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell to turn on notifications. I don't want you to miss any great content. This is the East Coast Whiskey Sipper signing off, and always remember, keep sipping.